Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the latest episode of the Genesys Cloud Community's Q&A show, the show where we answer your pressing questions in the Genesys Cloud online community. My name is Matt Lawson. I'm your online community manager, and today we're answering your questions from the community. That's right. No main segment, just some of our professional services experts to answer your tough questions from the community. We're also going to check in with our video specialist, Nicole, who's going to tell you all about the great events coming to the community in October, because you are going to have 6 chances to win prizes, all for you to have some fun with us as we get into my favorite time of year, holiday season. But before we get to Nicole, let's go ahead, talk to our Joes, and try to get some answers out of the door. Who's ready for a good time? Let's get started. Hey, George, Maxim, welcome to the Q&A show. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Good. It's been a while since I've seen you all. Maxime and I, we were talking a little bit earlier, and I know he wishes the summer weather could stay. I wished it could go far, far away from here because I like it to be a little cooler.
I'm
But
not ready for winter yet. That's what I can say.
I'm sure. Well,
Yeah.
the good news is the questions in the community are still coming in hot. And we have a doozy for you all. 2 of our above average Joes signing up to take some tough questions from the community today. And this first one is so long, it's one of the rare instances. I'm not even going to read it all, but we want to try to give Jeremy some advice. He's having some trouble streamlining his voice campaigns, and he gave us a lot of details here. Because we talked a little bit before recording, Maxime and George, you had a chance to look over this. And we know at the end of the day, we won't be able to address everything that Jeremy asked. Jeremy, in the future, you might want to just kind of like make smaller questions just to make them a little bit more digestible for people who are responding. But we wanted to be able to point you in kind of a general direction here. So without further ado, I'm going to get out of the way. George, Maxime, what advice do you have for Jeremy?
I don't think I've ever seen a situation where somebody is trying to use 6 different phone numbers and 2 different names and 2 different area codes, 2 different or even multiple different area codes and zip codes and all that kind of stuff, all with one contact list and one campaign. So I'm also thinking that we don't really need to go to 6 full campaigns for this particular solution. But this is with a caveat of haven't tried it, don't really know for sure what's going to take place if we were to set it up. And that'd take a while to figure all that stuff out. But part of what I was thinking is that we might be able to set up a rule to put a little bit of time in between the attempts on a particular contact by setting up the rule to say if it's been less than, say, half an hour since the last time we contacted this particular customer or tried to contact them, then don't dial this time. There is a rule that lets you look at how long it's been since, or is earlier than or is later than. So if it's earlier than half an hour ago, 30 minutes, then don't dial. Or if it's later than 30 minutes ago, don't dial, whatever your situation really needs to be. So you might be able to put a pause in between the different phone numbers for one thing, and thus cut down the number of lists you're working with. And Maxime, I think you had a couple of ideas on some other stuff that could be done there with the times.
Yes. So the challenge here is that not being able to assign multiple zip code time zones, right, on the same campaign. Or if you, let's say, you remove a zip code, then you only rely on area code, and that also might not be accurate if area codes are from different time zones. So in the end, maybe you would have to run multiple campaigns, maybe regroup them in a certain way and have a unique contact ID that will tie multiple campaigns together that will show you that that's the same person, right? But yeah, that's not a trivial case. I agree with George.
So if you can get real crazy, you could always use a data action as one of the wrap-up rules to coordinate between 2 different campaign contact lists or something like that. But yeah, that gets kind of fun. Just trying to coordinate using API calls to a backend or whatever you're doing, or back to us, that kind of thing. It's
Yeah,
complicated.
Nothing like some end of summer fun, right? Well, anyway, Jeremy, I don't know if that was helpful, but we wanted to kind of give you some high level overviews. Good luck with everything. And if you have another question for us, let us know in the community. All right, guys, one question down. We've actually got 5 more that were sent in. So let's see if we can get through them all really quick. I'm just going to try to go in order. Catherick, they want to know how to verify user authentication in a digital bot flow. They write, "Hi, I'm working within a digital bot flow in Genesys Cloud, and I need to verify if the user is authenticated. In the inbound message flow, I see that we can access the message.is authenticated value, but this doesn't seem to be available directly in the digital bot flow. I've tried passing the is authenticated value from the inbound message flow to the digital bot flow, but noticed if the user authenticates during the interaction with the bot, the is authenticated value doesn't reflect the updated status. Has anyone faced this issue or found a workaround or dynamically checked the user's authentication status within the digital bot flow?" I personally have not, but Maxime and George, you all have worked on a ton of different projects, and I'm betting you've come across something like this before.
Actually, and this is just one of those things that happens to fit just perfectly. We have a new feature coming out, which is actually going to allow this to happen. So either an agent or the bot can prompt a user to authenticate in the middle of a conversation. And that feature is coming out real soon. It could even be next week if everything goes well. And that's going to allow exactly what you're talking about there, from a bot flow, prompt the user to authenticate.
Awesome. Do you know what the release is called? Anything?
And it's called step-up authentication during a web messaging conversation. So feature coming soon, step-up authentication is the thing you're looking for. And there is a link in here for the messenger configuration. There's a notice at the top of that about the feature coming soon as well. So talks about how to configure it on down below there.
Awesome. What we'll do, Karthik, is give you a link to that article as well in the description for this episode, just so you have it. This next question, I think you guys said was related, or anyway, we'll just go ahead and go through it. It's from Rizwan, who has a question about no response treatment for quick reply slots and digital menu. They write, "Hi there, we have got a message flow which calls a digital bot flow. In this digital bot flow, we ask a question to our customers with answers in list of quick reply buttons, slots, or digital menu. We are not happy with the way Genesys handles no response. Upon no response, Genesys deletes the list of quick responses and throws the alert set in user input, followed by the question and list of responses again. In a laptop, small screen, the alert message scrolls up and goes out of the customer's view. The customer will feel like they have never received the alerts. I tried to use the exit flow in user input settings and write it as an if condition in message flow. This condition never satisfies while bot flow exists on no response. I either need Genesys to stop deleting this list or no response and throw only alerts, which should be visible to the customer, or pass the default value, which I can use an if condition and make it loop on no response." I don't know about you guys. I thought I killed that reading, but I really want to know if you can kill this answer. What do you think? Any advice for Rizwan?
Yeah, it's very specific to the bot flows. Yeah, this would require more investigation.
All right. Well, guys, with that, I can't think of a better time to segue, because if you were with us last year in the community during October, we had our big bad bot bash. It was everybody who is in the community. It was their chance to submit the bots that they've made that have enhanced their Genesys experience. This year, cue the lightning. The contest is coming back and bigger than ever. And if someone can help Rizwan out or has found an answer to this, your story might win you a prize off of the prize wall. I don't want to take all of the credit away. Our friend Nicole is going to pop in real quick and tell us all about the contest going on in October. Nicole, what's going to be happening?
Thanks, Matt. I hope everyone is ready for a lot of puns and a truly spooktacular October, because we have 6 ways to win some prize wall treats. First off is our 2-part main event, and it'll run all through October. It's back. It's the Big Bad Bot Bash. Part 1 of the Bot Bash is to post a story about a bot you've created with Genesys software, and we're even extending it to those who have played with some artificial intelligence. Pop into the community for a spell and post that creation that's made your life easier. Part 2 of the Bot Bash Challenge asks, do you have a personal paranormal story that has happened to you, a friend, or a family member? If so, we want to shake in our boots. Post your story in the community and creep it real, because we may ask you for extra details about your experience later. So participate in Part 1, Part 2, or both of the Bot Bash Challenge. The winners will receive their pick of poison from the prize wall and a customized badge. And each week through October, we'll have 4 hair-raising trivia tower events to participate in. Week 1, we invite you to our Fantastic Novels trivia, where we'll quiz you about the horror section in your bookstore. Week 2, we're supersizing candy images and seeing if you can guess which treat you're staring at. Week 3, we're scrambling your brains with an AI-themed word scrambler. And finally, for week 4, we're going to haunt your ears with some bewitching audio clips. Can you tell us what famous movie or song it's from? If you win any of the Trivia Tower events, you'll score a badge and a prize wall item. We hope to see all of you guys and ghouls in the Trivia Tower and casual community, where it will be a skeleton of fun. Back to you, Matt.
Oh man, Nicole, that sounds like a scary good time. See what I did there? All right, let's get back to the Joes and try to answer some more questions. Let me pull up the next one here. Latest CIDR expansion. This comes in from our friend Paul. Paul, how are you, buddy? Paul writes in to say, I see from the release notes that Genesys has announced another CIDR address range expansion. Maybe I am giving it the wrong, but am I affected section is somewhat ambiguous. There are 4 bullet points listed. What I want to know is, are affected customers those where any of the 4 bullets apply, or only those where all apply? Mention is made in 1 bullet of the Africa, Cape Town, and Asia Pacific regions. I manage some orgs based out of the US West that do not use Global Media Fabric. So does that mean this does not affect them, or do the other bullets, turn, etc., mean they will? Sorry to appear stupid, but I feel a little more clarity from Genesys is required here. Because this is new, I wasn't sure what you all thought of this, but it looks like there are a couple of people saying they agree it's confusing. We're sending it back to our article team, but in general, I'm just curious, what do you guys think about this?
I was speaking with the product manager on it with a customer issue not too long ago, and I can just quote a bit of what he said, because it states it pretty bluntly. And it's, as he says, it's more of, we can use any of those ranges anywhere in the world. They're not tied to a specific location. So anything's fair game, no matter where you are. If there's a slowdown or a surge of usage in US East, they might go start pulling some of the ranges from APNE2 or whatever to fill in where there is extra load being placed on another region. So definitely everybody has to configure all of those CIDR ranges, because our system can pull from any one of them throughout the world, just depending on the load in any particular region. And also, I think you were going to pull up the next question as well, which is related, because it was talking about not just the CIDR IP address ranges, but also the port ranges for media are being expanded. So they're doubling the number of ports that could be used for media, and you need to open up all the ports now to make sure that the media side of the telephony can get through. So if you just open up one and not the other, you might have problems.
This isn't actually a question. This is more of an announcement that we made in the community. And I did want to touch on it on this episode because it's very important for everyone. This was shared internally, and then we reposted it on the community. Our moderator, Cam Tomlin, is the one who reported this. But just so everybody knows, firewall configuration is required. Genesys has a very important update regarding the Genesys-owned IP addresses. Please see the below for information. I won't read all of this. This is pinned in the community. If you're watching this episode and you haven't read this yet, I just encourage you, hop on our site, go to pretty much any of the sites, check your email. You should see a notification about this. It's big, big news. But George, Maxime, anything you want to say about this
I was addressing, the second comment that's on there
from Robert?
where Robert was talking about, we really need to emphasize the ports as well. He doesn't mention the port numbers, but basically they opened up the rest of the standard port range for the CIDR addresses. So they added an extra 32,000 whatever ports that can be used.
The question was, am I affected, right? The qualifying answer here is, are you using contact center to make or receive calls, right? If anything related to voice, you are affected. If your if you're using contact center just for digital, no voice at all, then you're not affected.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Good point.
That's a really good point of clarity. So Paul, hope you got that. Before we get into our actual last question, I did post in the community to ask if people had any questions for the Above Average Joes, because I love you guys. So the first one came in from someone who may or may not be on this call, but somebody wanted to know, what is your favorite color? So let's go ahead and start. Maxime, what's your favorite color?
I think it's changing throughout my life. It was blue. Now I'm not sure, maybe red.
Okay. All right. Awesome. George, what about you?
Well, it's got to be navy blue and gold.
I think you're cheating a little bit, but I'll take it. Our friend Robert wanted to know, if you take a square root of pi, do you not get rhubarb pie?
Yeah, I really dug into that one. And I was thinking that maybe you could say that rhubarb is square, but I still prefer apricot pie.
Yeah, fair
That's
enough.
just I won't even consider square roots.
This next one was a little cheeky too, coming in from my friend Anton. He wanted to know, what is the airspeed of an unladen swallow?
33.2 kilometers per second divided by the square root of rhubarb pie.
Sounds good. Maxime, do you agree?
Wow. That was a very complicated question.
This next one is a little more real, and I like it. It's funny because some people went back and forth on exactly how to word it, but I'm just going to go with the original because that's what we do here. Our friend Vaughn wanted to know, what keeps you in the Genesys space as opposed to looking at or moving into other contact center platforms? I think that's a really fair question. You're very talented guys, very technical. What's keeping you at Genesys?
I've been here more than 25 and a half years. And I came in, I didn't know what ACD meant. I didn't know what IVR meant. I didn't know much of the telephony stuff. I was a network type person. And being here, I have to keep learning stuff every single day. And I could go someplace else maybe, but I don't have the connections in those other spaces that I have here. I've got 25 plus years worth of friendships and people that I can turn to, and they will jump in and help me day or night. There are guys I remember over the years sending an email from Dubai at 2:30 in the morning out here, and somebody will pop in with a response just because they happen to be online and they're willing to help.
Totally.
This place has been good to me, and I just can't imagine starting over someplace else.
I'm relatively new to Genesys. I've been here for over 2 years, but I'm in contact center world for 20 years. So I work with various different platforms. I don't want to name them, but like all the major players. So I consider Genesys as a very advanced solution. It really is top 3 player on the market. From functionality perspective, it offers everything that you need to cover most of the requirements, right? So it's a very mature product. There's a lot of history. So, I just like it. I like this industry overall, it seems, based on my experience, and I like the product.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool. You all gave incorrect answers. The correct answer is we enjoy doing the Q&A show. So, but let's go ahead and do one more technical question before I say goodbye to you guys until our next episode. This last one comes to us from June, who wants to know about how to audit Genesys Cloud operational actions and data change events. They write, "Hi, as Genesys Cloud customer for the cloud org instances that we own, we need to explore Genesys Cloud auditing to identify the key data that should be captured for both operational and support purposes. Specifically, can audit data such as user actions and configuration changes made be stored in the A3S database and mapped to ServiceNow change requests? Additionally, we would like to explore other auditing possibilities and determine how our L2 team can effectively monitor these activities. For example, we want to audit who added or removed skills for any agents and when. We want to audit who deletes any users and when, etc. May I check if any cloud experts can share with us some key insights, suggestions, and instructions, how we can make the above audit purposes happen, any particular skills or parts that we should learn from? Thank you all." Can't ask it any more clearly than that. What do you think?
There are a couple of ways how you can access audit trail log in our system. Apart from the web interface alone, we have audit query API that allows you to fetch audit longer than 14 days, because that's what you can get in the web interface. Also, we have notifications API that allows you to subscribe to audit changes and get them in real time. And that ties back to Amazon Event Bridge integration. So if, let's say, you use it, you can basically subscribe to all the audit events and get them in Event Bridge, and then do whatever you like, right? Store them somewhere, create notifications. There was a second part of the question related to A3S. So A3S is mainly a reporting engine. And I checked, briefly the documentation. It says that, the focus is on the analytics API, which is everything related to reporting. Everything else, like audits, it's not there. But I know that the team that's working on this product, they're open to customization. So in, talking about custom integrations, custom solutions, they can do that. But that wouldn't be out of the box. And the same goes for CRM integration. I believe was ServiceNow, right? So again, using the either audit query API or Event Bridge, you can tie them together again as a part of your custom development.
Mhm.
But the good news, right? Everything that was mentioned in the question about, type of data they want to get, right? Whether, the user was deleted or skills were assigned, it's all there. So you can get this information. It's available. Just to need to think about how you can tie it all together into your backend systems, which is in essence a custom project.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thank you as always for your answers. I can't wait to connect with you a little later in October. George, maybe we'll get to hear a little bit of your scary story, scary stories. I'm not sure. Maxime, maybe you can join me to hear about George's scary
Sure.
stories. I don't know if you have your own.
I need to think about it.
Yeah, right. You and me both, buddy.
Yeah.
But that's what this contest is going to be fun for. And I hope everybody watching gets to join us, win a couple of prizes off the prize wall, join some trivia events. It should be a good time for everybody. Again, guys, thank you so much for offering your time here. George, bringing 25 years of service. Maxime, you've only been at Genesys for 2 years, but in the industry for how long?
20.
20. Incredible, guys. Well, thank you so much for sharing what you know with us, and we'll see you on the next episode.